about this interview. I know if you're watching this episode, you probably started with our Kicks and Conversation series, but we're taking a little pause from that. But do know we will be on tour this year in Austin, Dallas. Well, we just did Dallas, but we made Austin, Philly, I don't know, all over DC, Denver, Kansas City. So make sure that you check out all the information in the community tab as we continue our Kicks and Conversations tour. But I'm excited about where we're going. Thank you for all the likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and all the emails for the feedback. I really appreciate it, and I'm grateful that all of you guys are with me on this journey. So getting to this conversation, I have some amazing guests with me. We had a whole lot of fun already, and I'm excited about this dope conversation. I have no idea what we're gonna title this episode, by the way, but I'm sure that we may name it, we may leave it untitled, or we may come up with something down the line. But I know that we're gonna say something that I'm hopeful will inspire you. So let's get to this conversation, man. How y'all doing today?
Oh, we
Good,
Y'all
good,
Y'all good. So I have
Yes.
with me Ms. Les. And I forgot her name.
Vales.
Vale. So
Lise.
Lise and Vale. I forgot her name, so we'll edit that. So I have with me Miss Lise and Vale. How y'all doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So before we get in this conversation, so tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, no, me and Vales, we have a podcast, a sports podcast. It's all female led. It's a team of 4.
Yeah.
We have our editor, well, both our editors, black females.
Yeah.
Of course, the co-hosts, black females, and we just really give our perspective on how we view sports and sports topics.
Okay.
We're all used to the men discussing sports, but there's also women like ourselves that really take the sports really into it just as much as the guys.
Yeah.
And it's time that the women had a voice.
Okay.
Definitely. Just to piggyback off of what she said, we have a sports podcast, Locked In Sports. Me and Lisa actually have been debating sports for years. Since we were kids, we met back in junior high days, and we've had some heated debates over those years, and kind of decided to turn it into podcasts, put it out there because we know what we're talking about. Very educated in what we talk about, and so
How long y'all been podcasting?
Ooh, honestly, not even a year yet.
Yeah.
We released our first episode in June last year.
Okay. So y'all coming up on y'all 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
How has the journey been? Like starting up and all of that.
I mean, it's had its challenges, but I mean, it's been fun. It's been a fun ride. I think the results is what keeps us going. The listeners that are tuning in, and the feedback that we're getting. I think that's what keeps us going. But I mean, I've enjoyed it. I think we both have. But what about you, Lise?
Same thing. Like the challenges, just kind of getting it started, trying to figure out what we want it to look like, sound like, but that's been the fun part also.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of hard trying to kind of navigate 4 different personalities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we work well together, and we all have the same common goal, which is to see where this can take us. The feedback has been phenomenal. So we're just gonna continue just to keep building and growing, and then keep our voices out there.
So whose idea was it for the podcast?
I'm gonna say it was mine.
It was yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you say, you know what? I think we really got something here.
Because like she said, we debate. That's what we do. Like I just come over there, we kicking, watching the game. It's always a heated discussion about something.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what? We could probably podcast this. We could probably people kind of, and then I think for me too, it was like even guys like they'll even chime in, like just when we're like all hanging out or something like that. They'll chime in, ask for our opinion about certain things. I was like, okay, so if the men care about what we're talking about, we might be on to something here.
Okay,
Right,
okay.
definitely.
So before we kind of get into the meat of our conversation, hot topics, right? So what's been on your mind lately? What you've been thinking about, talking about, reading? What's just been, you know what, this is a hot topic in my world.
You want to go
As far
first?
as podcast goes,
Anything you want to share? What's the hot topic?
I mean, we're a sports podcast, so like anything that's hot that's happening. I.e., when Serena announced her retirement, Brittany Griner in Russia, recently Kyrie being traded to the Mavs. We kind of just try to stay on top of what's going on currently, current events, and that's pretty much like what drives us. We normally take notes and we dive in and we take it serious.
So you go ahead.
No.
So you talk about like taking your podcast seriously and how like committed you are. I noticed that right off the bat by watching. First of all, the show is hella entertaining. Right? Like, so this is not they doing commentary and breaking down stat like
no.
Like this is very hilarious. So but
Appreciate that.
You talk about being serious and being committed. Like so like is that who you guys are in terms of that space, or like were there any challenges with like, hey, I just really can't figure out this whole podcasting thing? Like how'd you kind of really get down to the operational piece? Because you guys got a whole team to support.
Yeah, we
you.
do. Go ahead.
I'll say that I think that's what makes us go.
Yeah.
Because we do have a team. I think if it was just me doing all the work or she's doing all the work, it wouldn't work. Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's especially trying to grow it on social media. You gotta try to promote.
Yeah.
I'm not. I work in outside of podcasts. I work in the tech field, but I don't know how to do some of all that.
Yeah.
Because technology is a wide range of things. So all that creating web design, all that that's not my lane. So I think just having different people with different expertise is what helps this move along the way it should.
Yeah, and then life happens as well. Like she said, she's in the tech field. I'm in the education industry, and so it could get tough. With everybody having their different lives, and people have kids, people have husbands. A lot goes into it. So, but like I said earlier, I feel like the results and the feedback that we're getting. It keeps us going on top of everything Leash just said. It keeps us going. And then just having a team, it helps us out a lot.
Big support.
We would not be able to do this just me and her.
Nah.
Not at all.
Can we shout them out too?
Shout them out. Shout out your team, man.
Okay, we want to shout out Fanucci. And Blair Beasy, she's our editor, our head editor, I guess you want to call it. And Fanucci, she does all the background work. Like she's going out to these events, trying to put our name out there, and she's great. Yeah. So definitely, if it wasn't for her, like she was here today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
on top of her trying to do her own
thing. She got her own thing going. Shout out to Black Girl Sunday BGS. I look for that too.
Yeah.
That my dog.
You gotta do that. I love it. I support each other, man.
Definitely.
So clearly you guys have found a place, a space where your gifts and talents can thrive and flourish, and you can be you. Right? Like, people can be childhood friends. They want to do something, but then all of a sudden they start doing it and clashing and personality traits that you didn't know, but you guys have found a way.
Oh, yeah, I cuss her out.
Yeah. But it's not perfect, I'm sure, but like you found it and you guys are rocking in it. So like, what does purpose really mean to you?
Can we take that one first?
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, purpose. Let me say it. Purpose, probably what means to me is finding your place, I guess, in a sense. Finding something that means a lot to you, that you're willing to make certain sacrifices for it. Once you find your purpose, you just want to walk in it. And I think with me, I found my purpose with this podcast. I used to think my purpose was IT because I went to school for it.
Yeah.
It was only two things I was good at: computers and basketball. So when basketball didn't work, I was like, okay, well, I'll do IT.
Yeah.
I love it. I love my job. There's nothing against that, but it was no longer fulfilling me. Like, it's still that sports. I still had a passion for sports somewhere, even though I don't play anymore. I still wanted to be around it and near it. And doing the podcast keeps me in that realm and in that space. So I think my purpose is to do this because I like to talk, and I like to talk a lot of and this gives me an opportunity to be free. I don't have to watch my words. I can just say whatever I want to, and I've just enjoyed it. So that's what purpose means to me. Just following you.
Yep. Purpose to me means just walking, I guess, in your identity. I guess doing what, I'm not trying to be religious, but doing what God has called you to do.
Absolutely.
Doing what you're meant to do. Having fun and then actually enjoying it. Now, obviously, it's not going to be fun all the time. It's not going to be enjoyable. You're going to have some downs. You're going to go through some rough times. But just being comfortable. Well, there's going to be some uncomfortability as well. But just like I said, just doing what you're called to do. And like Lee said, walking in it and embracing it, and not wavering. Staying on top of.
That's a
staying
word.
on top
Come
of
on,
things.
man.
That's a word.
Hey,
Bar? Is that a bar?
That's a. We about to unpack that. she just said that so casually. You got to talk about that. But go ahead and finish though.
But yeah, no, and I'm, not to try to shout anybody else out, but one of my little bros, he has his own clothing line. It's called Purpose Brand Clothing. I actually have on a bracelet that says, I have a purpose, and I try to wear this bracelet every single day, just to remind myself, because you can get stagnant, and you can be out here and be like, man, like, what am I here for? Like, what am I, what am I supposed to be doing for real?
Yeah.
And for me, just a reminder, just this little simple bracelet that I really rarely take off unless it breaks. It's just a reminder, like, you have a purpose. There's a purpose for everyone, and walk in it. And don't be afraid. Don't be fearful of what people think, of what people say. I think that's what purpose means to me.
Two beautiful definitions.